we also did stream yesterday. All right, I think we figured it out. We got Patrick Coyne in the chat. Boston Base is here. Yotes is here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, yes, we figured it out. We're live. Hell yes, brothers. Eggplant Day. What is Eggplant Day, JJL? Are you saying that's the color of this shirt? Is that what we mean? Or is it National Eggplant Emoji Day? Are you picking up the slack for Snoopaloop, who's on vacation? Enough chitty chatty. How about them Celtics, huh? Little 4-0 sweep a deepy. They're on to their NBA Finals, second one in the last 3 years. I think that's right. We're going to talk a lot about last night's game. Shout out everybody that tuned in as we watched that. We had Sneeps and Weisberg on the 1s and 2s. I joined for the second half. Also, we had a little live before lock yesterday. A lot of fun. I imagine Weisberg's going to fire up for tonight's game. I got to work, so I won't be here for tonight's game. And then a couple programming notes. I am out of town on Thursday and Friday. So I'm weirdly rooting for Dallas today just so it makes a natural transition to not have any shows on Thursday and Friday. So just a heads up, I won't be here on Thursday morning or Friday morning. And then we're going to a Rolling Stones concert in Massachusetts as a part of a gift from the in-laws. So it's a quick trip going on Thursday, coming back on Friday. But there we go. I like that we're seeing a band older than me. It's going to be the youngest I've felt in a long time, especially after talking to you dorks every day. All right, let's go. Let's dive into some of last night's excitement. And just a heads up, if you're watching over on the YouTubes, come on over to playback. All right. Stop by the dispensary. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be vibing. I think it's at Foxborough. I think we're going to Foxborough. Oh, you're going to Stone. Oh, JJL. I love that you just brought up Summer League because that means you're going to be there. And I love that. All right. Celtics are going to the finals, baby. 105-102. And this is how I wanted to start this show. I am a big Sean Grandy fan, even though I don't listen to the radio too much when I'm watching the game. And there was a cool clip of him calling the last 2 minutes of the game. I figured this would be a fun way to start this and to give the Celtics a little bit of love, So hold on, I'm going to share screen quickly. And this is how we're going to start, where you can also see some other bookmarks that we got. But anyways, make sure you guys can see this okay. All right, let's get some Sean Grandy.
The season was a failure if they didn't reach the finals. They have had a bad year because Game 1 is in Boston on June the 6th. In Game 1, they took their heart. In Game 3, they took their home. And in Game 4, in the final seconds, with everything on the line, the Boston Celtics take the series and the championship of the Eastern Conference.
What a call by Grandy. Love that. Love that call from Sean Grandy. Huge W for the Celtics last night. I also shout out Tom Ziller and and Good Morning It's Basketball. He had a good quote too. He said, in fact, given one of the biggest knocks on the Celtics all season was their shaky play in close game, getting reps against an overmatched opponent in a series they'd almost assuredly win seems like a win. They also had another, I want to make sure I found this. Here we go. As someone old enough to remember the most competitive sweep ever executed by the Nuggets and Lakers a year ago, I can confidently say that this sweep was an even more competitive series. The Pacers held leads in the final 5 minutes of 3 of their 4 losses. ESPN's win probability metric was 90% or higher for the Pacers in the fourth quarters in games 1, 3, and 4. On Monday, it hit almost 91%. with 8:42 remaining and Indiana up 9. It then hit 89.5%, just under the 6-minute mark when Neesmith hit those back-to-backs. So I know it is easy to go out there and just say like, oh, dude, well, yeah, they didn't beat anybody. Celtics suck. Well, they went 12-2 in this run. They went 12-2. They beat everybody that was put in front of them relatively handily, only dropping 2 game twos, one to the Heat and one to the Cavs. And now they wait their opponent with Dallas taking on Minnesota tonight. And listen, I mean, they played well when they needed to. And you saw them like in 2 consecutive games where the defense just gets ramped up. The Pacers shot 34% from 3, which is fine, 46% from the field. They turned them over. How many times was it? They turned them over 14 times in this game. And like, dude, Jaylen Brown, we'll look at some of the clips from him after the game last night. But he like turned it on in the second half, finishes the game with 29.6 boards and 2 dimes. He is your Eastern Conference Finals MVP, narrowly eked out Jason Tatum, who Jason Tatum, by the way, I believe averaged 30 and 10 in this series, which with the way that people talk about him, you would have thought he averaged like 15 points on 12% shooting. Tatum had 26 points, 13 boards, 8 dimes, a few more turnovers this game than last game since he had 0 the game before. Drew Holiday finished with 17 and 9. Derek White was 16. Al Horford was the only starter not to get in double-digit points. So, man, Celtics just like a big-time W there. And, again, like I said, 12-2. They have been one of the more successful teams without winning a championship in the last, like, decade. And now they have a chance. And, like, whoever they play, if they're not going to be favorites, it's going to be freaking close, right? Assuming they play Dallas, I would think that they would be like a smidge fave. But maybe not. I guess that's something we could actually check live if we wanted to. But I don't know. I know it is like not cool to give them credit, and it is there to just like ding them and not like celebrate any of the successes until they get their big win. And I understand part of it because they did lose in the finals. They had that sham of a Miami Heat series last season. But I mean, come on, this was what was expected, and they ran right through them, right through the playoffs, and they did most of it without Porzingis too. So I know everybody's like, oh, they're missing their best guy, they're missing their like Halliburton's gone. Yeah, all of that is true, but the Celtics did it without Porzingis, 12-2, on to the finals. And then we game 1 isn't forever. We have so much time in between games, which is a little crazy. A little love for the Pacers here. Andrew Nembhard, man. Dude, Nembhard is a dog. Finishes the game 24 points, 10 dimes, 6 boards, only 3 turnovers in this game, went 3 for 6 from 3, 10 for 18 from the field. I mean, he like single-handedly kept these guys in the last 2 games with no Halliburton, like really stepped up. Even Spicy P with a little double-double of his own, 19 and 10. Let's go over to the House of Highlights. Let's check out we'll do the full game highlights first, and we'll just start with the second half. I don't think we need to see too much of the first half here. Hold on. Let me pull this up quickly. Let me find where we're starting here. Here we go. We'll start halfway through the third quarter and just see some of this. I think one of the funnier calls, I don't know if we're going to have this. I don't know if we're going to see it. The foul Jaylen Brown where he hit TJ McConnell in the face. I understand the ruling on it, why they didn't call it a flagrant foul. Wow, what a block by Jackson there. But with all of the flagrants that have been called in this past like 2 seasons of the NBA, it is nuts to me they didn't call it. I thought McConnell's minutes last night were kind of interesting. He played a ton in the first game, or the first game without Halliburton, and last night only played 25 minutes. Only played 25, only 9 in the first. Yeah, Maddie, I would have said the same thing, man. Only because I was so sure it was a flagrant 1. I didn't really think it should be a flagrant 2, but I was like, there's no way it's a common foul. And again, that's more, I don't even think it was like intentional, just how they've called things. That's right, common man. Nut shots, face shots. Shout out Derek Lively. Get well soon. Weisberg made like a Brunson to Nembhard comp with like how they play. I was like, I can't do this because I just can't see righties being lefties, so it's too hard for me. Um, I was really impressed with what Nembhard did. What a dime by Tatum there. Nembhard was just like consistently getting to the hoop and then hitting enough outside shots that they had to defend it, right? They couldn't just like leave him open for three. What a step back. Wet. Tough game for Turner last night. He's had a really good playoff run, but not his best last night. This is what I'm talking. Like, look at this, man. Yeah, that's a good point, Tesla. Nembhard, get ready for some Olympic basketball, baby. Especially if Jamal Murray's not good to go. Hopefully he is. This was a great pass by Obi Toppin too. When it happened live, I was like, "There's no way he meant to do that." That was a great dime. Look at Tatum just running by and throwing it down. I remember not believing that they didn't call travel on that JB take. And then here it is. This was buckets. This was game right here. Derek White in the corner. And then there's a great still shot on the ESPN homepage. Let me see if I can find it of this photo. And I'm going to switch this screen share and then we'll go back over there. A great one here of, and you're not going to be able to see it super well, but I love, so this, look at how like comfortable Derek White looks. Like he's almost got a smile on his face. And then I love, you can see everybody's face. Like these guys, like just like a little heckle here, Obi Toppin yelling some stuff right here. And they just look so comfortable. And then you understand why White immediately like said some shit to the bench after he knocked it down, probably saying goodbye. Thank you for hanging out. And I just assumed this was going down the way Nembhard was playing. And then they weren't in the bonus yet. And then Drew Holiday doing a classic Drew Holiday thing to end it, right? They see the double come. Holiday crashes, gets the board, no foul. And that's game. Game blouses. I thought Jaylen Brown's post-game comments were pretty good. I also want to hear do Spicy Peas too, because he made it pretty clear that he's going to be back in action for the Indiana Pacers. I know that's going to disappoint Top Shot Tesla, but he is going to be back in action. All right, let's get to Jaylen Brown's comments here.
Called your name for that trophy. Were you expecting it? Like, what was your feeling when you heard your name called?
I wasn't expecting it at all. You know, I'll never win so.
Love this comment. Wasn't expecting it all. I never win shit. I love it.
I was just happy that we won. And give credit to Indiana. You know, they played us tough. I know, like, people think that Indiana wasn't a good team or whatever the case may be. I mean, I thought they were as tough as anybody we've played all season. They were physical. They were fast. They put a lot of pressure on us. So shout out to them and respect to them.
Jaylen, I want to talk about your vocal leadership this year. Obviously, that was.
I don't really care. Well, he talks about Marcus Smart. We can wait a second.
This team, it looked like you kind of embraced that throughout, kind of motivating teammates, speaking your mind. How did you feel like?
Yeah, Manicato, that to reference what you were saying in the chat. Yeah, that tweet was wild. I saw that get retweeted last night.
You took another step there this year and showed comfort in that area.
Yeah, we had some guys leave, so I wanted to make sure that that void was filled. You know, Marcus Smart, one of my brothers that got traded. He was one of the voices of our team.
Also, I know everybody's making fun of that in that comment in the chat. I mean, Jaylen Brown rightfully frustrated he didn't make All NBA third team, and then goes out and wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So I'm here for it.
And when he wasn't here, I wanted to make sure I stepped in and make sure that everybody felt me and everybody knew what the standard was. And we didn't skip no steps all season. I think we played the right way every single game. I've held everybody accountable, and this is the byproduct.
Jaylen.
Oh, let's keep that going. Sorry.
D. White had the tip in last year, and this year he hits the shot to send you guys to the finals. How did it feel to see him get that moment and send you guys on?
Great shot. We work on that all the time. 2-on-1 reads. They veered it. I was able to get to the paint with Turner on me and just found him. And before I told D. White, yeah, just stay ready, it's coming. And that was just a big shot. big shot to put us up 3 and help us advance to the finals.
Love it. Love to see it. A couple other fun things from the game that Jaylen Brown went on to say. He was talking about the skirmish that he had with Miles Turner. This was from Jared Weiss from The Athletic. And Brown said, Miles is a good kid. Let's start with that. Throughout the series, he loses control of his body a little bit. I was just letting him know, just watch it. He feels like he's at home. His family's watching. His girl's probably watching. And he had to do something. I've known Miles a long time. It's all love. That was hilarious because he is older. He is older than Miles Turner. So I think that's hysterical. I love that. But shout out Jaylen Brown, man. I was happy for him. He balled out in this series. It was good to see. Also, I saw some snowflakes. Good to see you, Stan Loves. Glad you're here. Just a reminder, too, if you're watching over on YouTube, come on over to Playback. Link is in the chat. NFT Tax Guy's already calling his shot, saying the Mavs are dead, baby. Another fun tweet, Jay King from The Athletic said Sam Hauser has shotgunned more than one beer in the Celtics locker room. I think that's great. I'm here for that kind of energy from Sam Hauser. He shotgunned more beers than shots made, apparently. Also, shout out Al Horford making the finals. That's fun. And then Spicy P had some post-game comments that I wanted to get to. Let me see if I can find these quickly here. Hold on one second. I don't know why it's sharing screen like this, but okay, here we go. Let's share screen. Let's go back over here and let's hear from Spicy P.
I've got 2 for you. The first, you sort of mentioned right there about Indianapolis and just being here and what that transition was like. A lot of moving parts this offseason, but is this a place that you would be okay and want to potentially come back to next year?
I think, obviously, I'm not going to talk about, like all that, but all I can say is that, it's been a blessing. And I'm really appreciative of everything, I think coming from where I come from, it means a lot, and the support that I've received here, is something that, I was kind of missing, and having all that, and seeing how a city just breathes basketball, and just how much support they give to the team, just being here, the home games, it's incredible. How would you not be a part of that? So I think for me, I'm just really blessed and happy for, how this has been. And I think that, in terms of future, whatever happens is going to happen.
I actually disagree with Mercamius because he can't really say too much on it yet. I actually think he's going to be there. I think he's going to be there. I think Indiana's going to pay him too. That was the plan. I think they were planning on. I know Tesla says back up the Brinks truck, would be shocked if he took a discount. I think they already knew they were paying him though. I don't think there's any surprise that Siakam's expecting a lot of money and that the Pacers are expecting to pay him a lot of money. And just to kind of put a button on the Pacers series, I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but they've got such a young core. Right, Nembhard's only 24. I think Mathurin is under 24 as well. Hallie's young. They've got and I know they've got a lot of similar guys, but they've got a lot of pieces they can move around if they need to. And I think Nembhard showing that he started next to Halliburton for most of the season, right? But now I kind of and depending on how they use TJ McConnell or what happens with TJ next season, I think Nembhard, you could sure, maybe you could start him next to Halliburton if you want, but he should be running the second unit too. The way we saw him run the first unit, he should absolutely be out there, taking over ball handling responsibilities when Hallie's getting his rest. And it kind of one of the concerns is Halliburton's injury history, right? Since he's been dinged up the last couple of seasons. And now knowing that you're hey, we could probably limit some of his minutes during the regular season when it doesn't matter as much, knowing that we have Nembhard who can just go full takeover mode. And also knowing that he's a playoff guy. So I think the Pacers are in pretty good shape moving forward. And again, I don't know if we're saying, oh, they're going to make the Eastern Conference Finals again. I don't even think they would expect that based on what the rest of the East is going to look like next year. But I do think they're right there in that tier 2 of guys, right? I don't think there's a considerable gap between them and the Knicks or them and the Heat or the Magic, that whole crew. The Sixers, like we said, they only have a couple of guys on their team right now, and who knows how healthy Embiid is. So shout out to Indiana, man. I hope they don't yes, you get swept in the Eastern Conference Finals, but who thought they were going to be there? Who thought they were going to be there? And then to continue to fight in the way they did at home, being down 0-2, not having your best player, and still like push the Celtics to the brink in every single game. Like we read that stat earlier, how they were 90%, whatever the ESPN metric win is, to win games 1, 3, and 4 in the fourth quarter. So a hell of a run by the Pacers. I hope they feel good. Before we talk about some of like the second, the Western Conference Finals there, I just want to talk Bill Walton a little bit because there were a couple like really cool things from yesterday. Like I obviously like so sad that he passed away. I guess it's been a prolonged battle with cancer. I really had no idea that he was battling cancer. I mean, not that I'm keeping tabs on Bill Walton, but Bill Walton, so he is somebody, like I know Bill Walton obviously more as a media guy than a player, since I was like barely alive when he was balling. But I always remember like my grandfather talking about Bill Walton, and being one of those guys that he was like, the right way to play, Bill Walton. But there were so many cool things that were shared yesterday, and this is one of them. I just think this quote's insane. Bill Walton talking about Nikola Jokic. He's a beautiful player who plays a mental game. He has what seems to have been lost in the world, which is peripheral vision. When you walk down the street in life, when you drive a car in life, when you ride a bike in the world on a street, it is staggering the lack of peripheral vision. He also says when you see someone like Nelson Mandela or Martin Luther King Jr. or Mahatma Gandhi, someone who sees the future before anyone else does, knows how to get where they need to be, where they want to be, that is Nikola Jokic. I did not have comparing him to Gandhi and Martin Luther King on my list of attributes of Nikola Jokic, but that is the stuff Bill Walton did. And then I don't know how many people saw this, but before the Celtics Pacers game last night, Rick Carlisle, who was on that 86 team with Bill Walton, talked a little bit about like his friendship with him, and
Back here, Pascal. I've got two for you.
playing Siakam. There was a great story here. It's a little bit longer, but I'm gonna play it because I just thought it was really nice. So it's like a 4-minute story, but it's a really good one. It's a really good one.
Bill Walton today, just how much he meant to me and so many.
Actually, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find. The sound's not very good on this. Let me see. Rick Carlisle talking about Bill Walton, because again, I thought it's just a really nice story, and I don't know if your social media algorithm was inundated with this stuff yesterday, but it was pretty awesome to, I don't know, to just like, when people pass, obviously everybody says nice things, right? But this, I don't know, it just felt different yesterday about how Bill Walton approached life. So all right, here we go. Let me see if we can do this one again. Let's see.
Mention, with the passing.
I can't hear this one at all. This is incredible. Hold on.
Bill Walton.
Okay, great. That's great. Great audio there. Good stuff. Let's try this again. No, that's not the.
Also,
why can't I get any audio? What is happening? Can you guys not hear that either? Right? You can? What is going on for me then? All right, if you guys can hear it, what's going on for me? That was so weird.
To mention, with the passing of Bill Walton today, just how much he meant to me and so many people that I'm close to. I've been on a text message thread with our 86 team, and some of the memories are, they're beyond priceless. He has stayed in touch with me. He's been texting me a lot throughout our playoffs. I read some of his text messages to our players during our prep session before we went out on the court, just so they could realize the impact that they're having on people all around basketball. Bill really likes our team, liked the way we played. And I have him to thank probably also for me being married to my wife, Donna. Our first date was to a Dead show in Washington, D.C., and I called Bill, and I said, look, this is 1987. I got a date with a girl that I think is pretty cool. would love to go to the Dead show at Capitol Center. I don't have any tickets. Can you help? And he said, just go to the back door, ask for Dennis McAnally, tell him you're Rick Carlisle from the Boston Celtics, and everything will be just fine. I said, really? And he said, oh yeah. So I drove up to the loading dock, and so Donna was with me. We hadn't known each other that long. I said, just wait here a second. She's like, what? She said, do you have tickets? I said, just give me a couple minutes here. And so I walked down and I knocked on the door. The whole thing ended up working out. I walked back up the loading dock ramp with 2 all-access laminates. One said Bill Walton and one said Susie Walton. And so we were set up for the show, and we were actually on stage watching the show. And during the break, we kind of just wandered into the back and just opened up a door and ended up sitting down with Jerry Garcia, Bob Weir, and Mickey Hart for about 15 minutes just shooting. I mean, it was an unbelievable night, and obviously it's a good first date. So anyway, I'm thankful to him. I know there's been a lot of talk today about what he meant to the whole world. To me, he was a living, breathing event in history. Just walking around, he was involved in so many events, in pop culture, in sports. He played drums for the Grateful Dead in the pyramids in Egypt. He's a guy that did everything. And there's been a lot of talk today about, how he speaks in hyperbole so much and stuff. But he defiantly competed for every moment in life to be the greatest it could possibly be.
Yeah, Tesla was making fun of him saying, anyway, I'm rambling there at the end of the story. I think it's worth it just for that quote. I think that last quote is like so good.
And stuff. But he defiantly competed for every moment in life to be the greatest it could possibly be.
Hell yeah. I think that's great. Anyways, rest in peace, Bill Walton. All right, no easy transition after that, baby. So what do we got? We got Dallas and Minnesota tonight. We got game 4. So do you think we're going to be having the same conversation about Minnesota that we had with Indiana tomorrow? Like, it's kind of eerie how similar they are too. Like maybe Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, young budding superstar. Maybe Ant with a little bit of a higher ceiling. Obviously, you get the Karl Anthony Towns, Miles Turner comp, kind of like similar age. I guess the Rudy Gobert thing doesn't really fit. But is anybody taking Minnesota to force a game 5? I mentioned this on So Rare's Live Before Lock yesterday, that I think like if you had to pick one of these series that has a shot to stretch the series out a little bit more, you would probably put your eggs in the Minnesota-Dallas basket. I do think the one difference between the two series that we're seeing is that, like, if Boston had lost last night, you go back home for game 5, right? So it feels a little bit different. If, I always think of the Red Sox and Yankees, don't let us get one. If they get this game, it does go back to Minnesota. And then now there's a little bit more pressure because if Minnesota wins at home, which, you'd like to think they can hold home court, even though they've already lost the first 2 there. Now, all of a sudden, you come back to game 6 for Dallas, and it's like, and I'm kind of with Keith. I do think this banks on like how Karl Anthony Towns performs tonight. I also think like Derek Lively has already been ruled out, and that thins out the front court a little bit. I know Maxi Kleber, who had that brutal injury, was it right before the playoff? No, that was in the first round, right? Maxi Kleber is going to make his return. He was upgraded to questionable, but there sounds like there's good momentum that he's going to play tonight. If he doesn't, though, they are super thin, and that means, good God, is that Dwight Powell music? And so I wonder whether Maxey plays or not. I wonder if they try to put a little bit more pressure on the bigs of Dallas to start the first quarter and just try to get Gafford into a little bit of trouble, try to attack the rim over and over and over again. And maybe even if you don't get him in foul trouble, you tire him out a little bit, because I do think that is where they could find themselves with an advantage. And I don't know if that means it's Ant attacking the rim, McDaniel's attacking the rim, or even, I mean, Cat's drives have looked so brutal. And I know that they've had PJ on him and he's actually kind of slowed him down. But I do agree that it does depend on what Catman Chew can do. I also saw Anthony Edwards' line, right? So the series started, I think, at 29.5 and is now down to 26.5. Like they really have bottled him up a little bit. Keith, too, in the chat saying PJ staying out of foul trouble has been big this series. Yeah, I mean, they've been playing him like 40 minutes a game. So I think I am of the mind that Dallas closes this one out and then we have a break. I feel like these teams are pretty evenly matched, and that if it is a close game down the stretch, as we've seen a handful of times already, that Dallas is just going to win the clutch minutes because they have Luka and Kyrie, who are just, an unstoppable duo in the clutch because they can create their own shots. They can create shots for others, and not just like shots, like they like incredible wide open shots. And if they don't, you have Luka who can hit those tough shots. So I think I'm of the mindset that Dallas is going to wrap this bad boy up tonight, and then we'll have a Mavs Celtics finals, which I'll be pretty excited about because I think that would be a pretty close matchup. I do, and like I know that Boston hasn't beaten anybody yet, but I think like if Porzingis comes back, that's going to be a fun matchup, and you're going to have to see like how can, like, in the same way that Rudy is getting switched on to Luka, how do the Celtics defend it when Porzingis gets switched on to Luka? NFT Tax Guy says we beat the Mavs twice already. Yeah, one of them came before the trade deadline, I believe, so it was a very different team in January. And I believe the second time was when the Mavs were on that 5-game losing streak where Luka put up 35-point triple-doubles, which is still just such a wild run that was. So yeah, I think they're really only 1-0. I'm not going to count that second one. And I think we're all being insane if we don't think this Dallas team is a different team than what we saw in January and February. I mean, the way that they are playing defense right now is pretty otherworldly. We hadn't seen that from them until the second half. And Keith, that's fair. You can't. That's the right way to do it. I will do it for you. You don't have to do it. What's Kyrie's record? I don't know, dude. I don't know. You Google that and you can tell me. But you seem very hard on for the Celtics right now, so I'm afraid to even go back and forth. Even though, listen, I am rooting for the Celtics as well. We got a couple 1,500 shots from Cat jokes in the chat. Common Man put Cat 1,500 shots will pay off some days. Maddie says if he does that, he could get it done in about an hour if he does it at the same pace as the 3-point shootout. There we go. That's pretty good. Who wins the coaching battle between Kidd and Mazzulla? I was thinking about making a bad joke there. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to fight the urge. But Kidd does. Kidd's been really good. I mean, he has been really good this season, and I don't want to give him credit, but I do think they would have a little bit of an advantage there. The Celtics are clearly responding better or well to Mazzulla this season. I feel like Mazzulla's, I'm not a good coach, so it's kind of hard for me to evaluate it, but it does seem like Mazzulla has been a little bit quicker with the timeouts, which is something that everybody made fun of him for. I keep going back to the one from Game 3 where Xavier Tillman just did not go for an offensive rebound, and it felt like Mazzulla channeled his inner Ime Udoka, and he called, or even Spoelstra, he called one of those go fuck yourself timeouts where he bang, and then runs onto the court, and then we didn't see Xavier Tillman for the rest of the game. So he wouldn't have done that last year. He's let's play through it. I do think that kid probably has the advantage. I'll be curious. Dallas fans usually are the first ones to be hey, we need to get Jason Kidd out of here. It feels like the tide has turned, and he seems to be pressing the right buttons. He seems to have a good feel on his rotations, which was something that was so brutal. I remember the game that the Celtics and Mavs played after the trade deadline. I think Daniel Gafford played 5 minutes, and this was right after the deadline, and everybody's like, holy shit, what are we trading Gafford? And he's not going to even play. He traded for Gafford. He's not even going to play. And then that was when Kidd made the decision to make that switch. We'll be let's have Lively come off the bench. We'll start Gafford. And now they basically split those minutes. And ever since then, they've been red hot, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Tesla says he's done a great job making everyone's favorites adjustments. Yeah, he has. He has been doing the hashtag adjustments. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Celtics are the better team if we do get that finals matchup. Man, Luka is on one right now. He really is. He is on one. And the Celtics have guys that can defend him. I think they can put Drew Holiday on him for a little bit. He's probably a little bit too small, but Luka's already commented how great of a defender he is on him. You've got Jaylen Brown, who's long, and throw at him. Tatum, I think, can probably get some minutes on him. Yeah, I don't know. Lord Flight Jamar says, if they don't win, do you think they break it up, the Celtics? No, they can't. They can't. I mean, you can't. They are 75-20 this season. 75-20. I can't believe we're going to reference Bill Simmons right now. But Simmons had this tweet. He talked about it on his podcast yesterday with old Rosillo. He had a tweet. Here we go. Let's just share screen. This is the Celtics. Teams with 20 losses or less heading to the finals. 96 Bulls, 2016 Golden State Warriors, 97 Bulls, 2017 Golden State Warriors, 86 Celtics, 87 Lakers, 2013 Heat, 92 Bulls, 2024 Celtics. They're 76-20. Excuse me. So they gotta. I think to break that up would be short-sighted if they were like, oh my God, we finished second. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a great question. Cornette, they might break up with Cornette. That is true. Good point by Jack. But yeah, there's no way. I don't think we will have the conversation that this season is a failure if they lose. I think it's pretty short-sighted. It'd be disappointing for them, sure, yeah, because they got to the finals for the second time in 3 seasons and they didn't get it done. But I think to be like, I think that's a little silly to say they break it up. Although the conversation will be insane. I already know Nick Wright has been like stretching, getting ready to shit on them the whole time. Which I don't know. I like. Can't we just enjoy this for a little bit? Like, I hope Pacers fans enjoyed their run. Minnesota might get swept tonight, but you know what? We saw Anthony Edwards turn into one of the most fun basketball players. Rudy Gobert, who I know is like, we're getting the Draymond experience right now, which I believe firmly in my heart that nobody is enjoying. But they had a fun run. I don't think anybody before the season outside of Aaron Borland and the rest of Minnesota was like, you know what? Things going to the conference finals, the Timberwolves. Nobody thought that was happening. Enjoy the run. Ant-Man's 22, and the Celtics should feel the same way. They've been incredible this season. A historic regular season team that is 12-2 on the way to their finals. And if they lose to Luka going God mode, whatever. Yeah, that sucks. But Luka went God mode. Who cares? That means we've seen this guy, Luka, who heliocentric basketball, you can't win like that. All of a sudden, we saw him ascend to insane greatness. I don't know. Jack says Pacers in season tournament champs and East runner up. Pretty awesome. Yeah, they did. Did the Pacers lose to yeah, you said runner-up, didn't you? Oh, I thought you said Easters. Yeah, they lost to the Lakers. Anyways, good stuff. I'm excited. I forgot to. I'll be honest. I think sometimes because I have to talk about all of the basketballs, I try to like suppress my Celtics fandom a little bit and like just push it down. Or maybe it's because I've been disappointed in the past. I don't know. But I like forgot. I was pretty excited last night. I was like, hell yeah, this is fun. I'm excited. I'm happy. I will say, I want to shout out my buddy Jay Rogers, who I'm on a text thread with my guy Jay and Nate. They were, when we were in college, we were on the baseball team together, and they were freshmen when I was seniors. And I've been on this thread with them with probably like 20 years, which is too long. And Jay is like the classic Boston fan where he's just like upset already. And he said, this is what he said. This is their first text after they go to the championship. They go to the finals. He said, why did Tatum have a seizure when he got that rebound? Spazzed and turned it over, throwing it at Holiday. And I said, shut your WEEI worm brain off for an hour and be happy. Like, this is just enjoy it, man. Why are we watching this? This team's going to the finals. Like, chill out. No, he doesn't have a strong Boston accent. I mean, I can do it, though. We can do it. Ready? Let's see. Hey, question for you, Zakaria. Why did fucking Tatum have a seizure when he got that board, kid? Spazzed and threw it over at Holiday? What are we doing? Just enjoy it. Harrison saying, I'm really hoping the Celtics look at least really good in the finals, because if they don't, it's going to be a summer of awful takes. Yeah, right. If they lose in 7 because, somebody hits an insane shot, if they just get beat instead of beat themselves, people will still have terrible takes, because that is what NBA media is now. It's just like yelling angry stuff. But yeah, I mean, if they just get beat instead of beating themselves, I don't think you can hate on it too much. All right, should we do some? Are we gonna fire up some pick'ems for tonight? Is there any other NBA slop we need to get into? I thought it was actually a kind of a quiet NBA news story. I saw one dumb tweet. I think it's from like Basketball GM or something like that. That it was like JJ Redick is looking at getting guys like Borrega and Sam Cassell on his coaching staff. I was like, can we hire JJ Redick first before we start rounding out what his team's gonna look like? I don't think Doris Burke sucks. I actually listen, I think no matter what fan base listens to them call the games, they're like, dude, Doris Burke hates the Rams. Doris Burke hates the Pistons. Like, nobody thinks that they like. I actually think they do a fine job. I agree with the no dunks take. I think Doris and JJ do a lot of the same stuff. I think they need to put somebody fun in there. I think JJ and Doris are both like analytical, Zach Lowe guest type analysis, right? They're just dorks. They're basketball dorks. You can't have two of them on the same one. You need to have one. We need to have somebody that's fun in there. And maybe it's cornball Richard Jefferson, which again, the no dunks guys, let me give them credit. They call that out. But I think they need somebody fun in there. Which maybe, if JJ does get hired. I did think it's crazy, though, that they're already talking about what JJ's staff is going to look like for the Lakers. Dude, God bless JJ. Enjoy that 2-year run, sir, because you will be doing something else really soon after that. Let me see if I missed anything else. I don't think we got any. We already talked about Lively being out. No. Suns held a pre-draft workout with Bronny James. That was the other dumb story. I don't think we have anything else. Also, NFT tax guy, I feel like I've been just bumping up against your comments. I appreciate all of them, so keep them coming. I appreciate it. Let's go look at, real quick, I'm just going to show you that we balled out with some of our So Rare squads early on. Then we're going to go build a pick 'em. And then, I don't know, we'll get out of here. Just a reminder, too, tonight we'll have Mavs. I won't be here for it. Weisberg and Steves will be cooking. We'll have Mavs Wolves up here. And then one more reminder, no show on Thursday and Friday because we're going to go to the Rolling Stones. All right, here we go. We got Tatum dropped 53, Siakam 32 in my pickup. That's not as spicy. Nobody from my contender has gone yet. Limited champ, which was like my throwaway. Derek White drops 55, Nembhard 56, Siakam 32. That kind of hurt. But the rare contender, this is the one that's going to be live and well. We got 60 from Nembhard, 36 from Al. We still got Kyrie, Daniel Gafford, and slow-mo Kyle Anderson still to go. Let's go over to IKB. Let's do a pick 'em. I will say we balled out too in yesterday's contest. Let me see if I see oh yeah, I can see past contests. We almost took down some big money last night as we look at the previous one. I mean, we did take down big money. We did 1,400, but we finished in 5th place. There was a stat correction that moved us from tied to 2nd down to 5th, which hurt a little bit. But we had a lineup finishing in 5th for 900. We had another one hit for 200, and then a couple 75s and 50 bombs in there. So that was kind of fun. This lineup was fire. We had PJ, Kyrie, Luka, and then McConnell, White, JB, and Nembhard. Shout out Nembhard, just like straight up bald. Also, I'm seeing, has the chat been quiet, or did the thing freak out again? Hold on one second. I want to make sure. Sometimes the chat. Oh no, the chat's just been quiet. Okay, all right. Sometimes playback tweaks out a little bit, and I can't see the chat, so just making sure. All right, let's go build a pick 'em for today. I don't know if anybody's got any spicy takes for tonight's game. I don't think I have a good feel for anything yet. So I don't know. Good bets to win Finals MVP. Well, you know what was kind of a bummer? I actually think Jaylen Brown to win Finals MVP would have been a fun bet. However, now that he won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, I'm a little bit nervous that the odds aren't going to be as juicy as they should be. So I don't think I would bet that. Yeah, the Naz Reid. It's funny. It was 9.5 for game 1 and 2, and then I think it was 10.5 for game 3, and now it is up to 12.5 for Naz Reid. But I do think we see Naz play over 30 minutes again, and I just think they're going to try to go big, and I think he's been their best player. So I wish this was 11.5, 12.5 feels a little scary, but I'm gonna still rock with it. We're gonna go down with the Naz Reid ship. I also like PJ. I think everyone's gonna click Daniel Gafford, but his line got adjusted. Like, they took 12.5 off. Man, I really wanted to take the 12.5 points, but they took that off. I like PJ tonight. We can look at Gafford. It is 20 points in wow, I got that at 19.5 this morning. People are betting now. 20.5 points in boards. I don't know how my Mavs fans feel about this. This feels right. Like 20 feels right. So I don't know if I want to click that. And I also I kind of wonder, how do you think? Because assume Maxey comes back. I don't think he plays more than 15 minutes, right? They're not going to play Maxey Kleber a lot. Do you think they really extend Gafford minutes, or do you think they play Daniel Gafford the same amount of minutes, maybe 2 or 3 more, but that they just kind of roll out a bunch of different things out there just to not overwork Gafford? And I guess it depends on game flow too. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. You know what? Maybe this is gross. Oh, they don't have any Dwight Powell numbers. Do they have Maxey numbers? No. Damn. I was going to say maybe Powell is the move. Or maybe I just don't want to do Gafford unders. I was going to say maybe we go under, but that makes me too nervous. Kyle Anderson has been money, by the way. His line is now up to 5.5, which I think was 2.5 when we started this series, or 3 maybe. But he's also not missing shots. I think he was 5 of 5. I was about to get my Jonte Porter on with Powell. I was. The 6th best big man in Canada, Dwight Powell. I don't even know how many big men. I only know Kelly Olynyk. But all right, we got Naz Reid points. Let me find another one. We got to find a Dallas guy because we got to have one from each team. What if we just do 15.5 points? No. Kyrie, I always like Kyrie assists, 4.5. I know he didn't get a bunch last game because he attacked a little bit more. I wonder, how about Derek Jones Jr., 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists? I think I might do that. Because maybe he plays a little bit bigger. Throw that in there. Let's get another Minnesota guy. Cats points now down to 19.5. I don't really like the Ant over points, man. They've kind of bottled him up a little bit. 26.5. I mean, maybe, but he's just looked tired. I don't know. Do we get a Rudy game? What about Conley? Conley, 17, 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists? Mavs will shoot more threes. Yeah, that's true. Let's see what we got for. All right, fine. You guys want Ant-Man. I'll put Ant-Man over 26.5. This is your. Oh, no, we can't. We can't even do that. Forget it. We could do 39.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We could do that. What do we got for 3-pointers? Is there what PJ? Oh, can't even. What if we say PJ 3.5 threes? That's 1.2. We get a little bit of a boost. How many threes from Kyrie? 2.5 threes from Kyrie. How about that? We'll just do that. 2.5 threes from Kyrie. Naz Reid, 12.5 points. Derek Jones Jr. Actually, what's Derek Jones Jr.'s 3? 1.5. Let's do that instead. We got rid of the points, rebounds, and assists. Kyrie over 1.5 threes. Jones over 1.5 threes. Kyrie over 2.5. Naz Reid over 12.5 points. Let's ride. There we go. Let's fire that bad boy in there. 25 to win 150. All right, gang. We did it. We did a pick 'em. We got the Celtics into the NBA Finals. We might have the Finals matchup secured tonight. The NBA bid will be back tomorrow morning. We'll stream the game tonight. Shout out our guy Sneeps too. Has been doing some NBA 2K. I know he's messing around with that over here on Playback and doing some gaming. We're going to get on a set schedule for the offseason for that. We'll actually talk about some offseason stuff too. What our schedule is going to look like once we get into the finals. We're going to have some days off in between finals games, so we'll talk about it as we get a little bit closer. We'll get some summer league hype up in here. We still doing stand up weekly. We still watching a stand up. Yeah, we are still going to do that. We're going to have some fun hangs. I got some ideas. All right, gang. I appreciate everybody watching. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm ending that right now. Thanks for hanging out. And for everybody on Playback,